as government works to resolve the crisis.
We all know the situation. We all know all kinds of deaths and situations we need to resolve. We are not complaining. We are just asking everybody's support, everybody's patience in finding solutions that work for the benefit of all of us.
Meanwhile, transport operators denying allegations of creating artificial shortage of buses, urging government to provide logistical support.
Most of them will work one day, tomorrow they will not work. They're all at the shops. If efforts are not made to resource us, the problem going may not go.
Still on the Citi Prime News, following the alleged assault of Energy Ministry staff by plainclothes police officers, Energy Minister John Jinapor petitions Inspector General of Police to investigate.
We expect in the next few days these officers will be interdicted, and then subsequently, as the investigations are completed, there will be prosecutions.
And later, police arrest a community police assistant in connection with the brutal assault of a patient at Akoti Health Center in Asin, Urakese in the Central Region. All that and more coming up on this edition of the Citi Prime News, which is also live in the Western Region on Beach 105.5 FM and Skyport 93.5 FM, both in Takrady. In the Bono region, the news is live on J-Live 95.5 FM in Sunyai in the Ashanti region. We're live on Focus 94.3 FM in Kumasi and Orange 107.9 FM, also in Kumasi. In the Volta region, the Citi Prime News is live on Revival 99.3 FM in Tajevu.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
I'm Charles Osukume, grateful to you this afternoon for your time. Let's now get into the details of our stories. And the government says it remains committed to improving public and private transport services to ease the worsening vehicle shortage in Accra. The shortage, especially during rush hours, has resulted in high fares and long waiting times. Speaking at a stakeholder engagement with the Ministry of Transport, the Vice President called on the public to exercise restraints as government works to address the vehicle shortages. She further urged drivers not to exploit passengers.
We know the roles of the public sector in transportation. You carry the responsibility, and our job is to ensure that we are lightening the burden so that you can play your roles well as a private sector. This is one way that we evaluate the presence and the input of the private sector. So we depend on you for all of us to reach our workplaces, our schools, our markets, wherever we need to go. And this is also the trust of your responsibility. And we know and we expect that this responsibility will be grounded in fairness the issues. So this meeting is very, very important for us. We want to ensure that no passenger feels exploited, whether through fares or queues or even lapses in safety protocols. We need to promote fairness, transparency, accountability in everything that we do.
Now, the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, also added that the government is working to introduce high-capacity buses and expand the fleet in the medium term to improve services.
In this vein, His Excellency the President has asked me to assure all of you that he will give support to Metromas, Ayalolo, and the private sector with new high occupancy buses in order to augment the services in the medium term.
Now, the Vice President has also urged that old buses be repaired and put back into service to improve transport delivery.
We also have plans to ensure that those that need to be repaired, that the process will be expedited to ensure we can put more buses on the road as soon and as quickly as possible. So my plea is let us continue to work together to develop a transportation system that prioritizes fairness, efficiency, excellence. And I know and we know that we can.
You heard the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. Well, she's taking a keen interest in the transport crisis, especially here in Accra. We're told that after her meeting at the Transport Ministry, she's also been to the Metro Mass Transit Our correspondent at her office, Sarah Pia, is joining us via telephone to provide us with more updates on what has transpired over there. Good afternoon to you, Sarah. What kind of engagement has the Vice President been involved in, and what are the fallouts of that engagement?
All right, Charles. So the Vice President, Her Excellency Professor Nana Jolo-Pukwajiman, has really had a very busy day today. Initially, she engaged the Transport Ministry, where she met with the Sector Minister, Joseph Bukari, and also the Local Government Minister, Ahmed Ibrahim, as well as some stakeholders from GPRTU. And their concern was to find measures in order to curb the situation we are currently facing, that is the vehicle shortage here in Accra. From there, she moved on to the Metro Mass Transit Limited headquarters, where she also met some of the drivers and some of the stakeholders. And there, she made mention of one key point, which was to help support our engineers, the engineers that are in charge of servicing these Metro Mass Transit buses. She called for them to be, their needs to be well assessed, and whatever they lack, government should do well to provide them so that they'll be able to service most of these buses that are currently operational.
Right.
So right now, we are at the Greater Accra.
Hello, Sarah.
We are the Greater Accra Passenger Transport Executive. Her Excellency, the Vice President, will soon join us here, where she's going to be the leadership of the Ayalulu buses, and they will also further the discussions as well.
So after this meeting, what is next on the Vice President's itinerary in terms of her visits to these transport companies?
In terms of the Vice President's itinerary, I think it ends here with the management of the Ayalulu buses. From here, she's headed straight for the Jubilee House. She's not going to meet any more stakeholders. So we are cornered it all here at the Greater Accra Passenger Transport Executive Headquarters.
All right, I'm grateful to you, Sarah. Sarah Pia is our correspondent at the office of the Vice President. Well, she did mention that the Vice President was at Metro Mass Transit Limited, where she made the call for greater collaboration between the private sector and government. Let's listen to her.
How did all the buses break down? How come we are working with about 60% of what we used to have? How come we used to have a 1,000 or so, and we are happy with the 400. Something went wrong. Whatever it was, we need to fix it and never return to that, especially when we have a growing population. If at the time we had less people and 1,000 buses, and today we have more people and 400 buses, there's more we need to do. How do we do it? By linking our minds, by working even harder, by sharpening our focus, and by expanding our vision. And all of these we know we can do together. I want to congratulate all of you and to encourage you to do even more.
You heard the Vice President of the Republic, Professor Nana Jane Opokwajiman. Well, she was in a meeting with the Transport Ministry and the transport operators, where the Ghana Private Road Transport Union appealed to government to provide additional buses to ease public transport shortages. Now, speaking at this particular meeting, the GPRTU's General Secretary, Godfred Abulbrim, said more state-supported buses would help improve the transport services nationwide.
Our problem is that from where we had met in 2016, I'm talking now, all the cars are now old. People complain. And like I did mention earlier before, Your Excellency, is that most of them will work one day, tomorrow they will not work. They're all at the shops. If efforts are not made to resource us, the problem going may not go. And I believe last month, I think was it November, we were made to go to China to inspect some buses, and then for them to see how they can get them. I think the chief of staff, he assured that they will get a particular bank that will go and do the LC or guarantee to make sure we have those vehicles. But the problem is that what they intend to bring more are gearing towards the EVs. And the situation in Ghana now, EVs, even Accra, I can assure that you cannot have more any better charging terminals dotted all over. We think that the best request among all the things we had listed is that we need more cars.
That was Godfred Abobri, the General Secretary of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU. Again, the GPRTU is denying claims that its members are deliberately reducing the number of commercial vehicles on the roads to create artificial shortages and hike transport fares. Now, speaking on Channel 1 TV's Breakfast Daily Show, the union's public relations officer, Abbas Imoro, said drivers remain fully operational across the country.
Been experiencing this traffic congestion during Xmas festive period and first 1-2 weeks in the New Year's period. This has been reversed for a very long time. It's just that this year's one has been a little bit serious than what we've been experiencing.
So your drivers are working?
Our drivers are working, my brother. It's not true also that some of our people have parked their vehicle, creating artificial shortages. It is not true. It is just not true.
So will you side with Doc that traffic is also
yes,
created?
Exactly. That is exactly what is the problem.
Interesting.
You heard the public relations officer of Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, Abbas Imoro. What's the situation elsewhere in the Ashanti region? The situation, we're told, is no different, where commuters and students face the challenge on a daily basis. Here are some stranded passengers speaking to Citi News.
Yeah, there are no vehicles. We can stay here for more than about 2 hours or 3 hours. No vehicles. No, sometimes you have to pick some from here to Mobile and alight and pick another one from Mobile to our school. So here we are finding it very difficult to transport. We have maybe before we could reach school, it's 9 o'clock, maybe break time. So we have missed 1 hour or so. And if we reach school, they'll say we are late, so we have to pay gate fee. We have to pay gate fee. And sometimes they rip us. When we talk, they say, no, we are lying. We don't wake up early, but they don't know what we are. Okay. Even if you come here early, you don't get the vehicle early. Maybe you may stand here for more than 2 or 3 hours.
For a couple of days after the Christmas, we are facing a very big challenge for accessing the transportation or transport to our various destinations where we are going to work. From where I stay, you take a car, you get to the main station, which is Abraham here. And to get a car to destination to a workplace is very, 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 very difficult. Sometimes you come here, drivers are charging an exorbitant amount fare because of there are lots of passengers and there are no cars. So we are pleading to the government if they can come to our aid to get us, because here is Kabri East. The number of people, the population here size is very big. So if they can support us with any government transport like buses, that can ease the pressure for we the passengers. Because early in the morning we are rushing to get our workplace, but due to lack of transportation or vehicles, we get to our destination very late. So we are pleading to the government.
Those were some commuters lamenting the adverse effects of the scarcity of commercial vehicles in the Ashanti region. Well, still in the Ashanti region, following numerous concerns about malfunctioning streetlights in Kumasi, which has made night commuting dangerous, the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly has installed 240 new solar streetlights to address the problem. Speaking to the media, Mayor for Kumasi, Richard Oforiajiman Buedi, said work has also begun to repair other faulty lights.
And I mean 240 solar lights within KMA. We have also started repairing all other street lights in the city, which is still ongoing. And we'll work to such a time that we have everywhere within the KMA lighted. And so the issue of street light is one that is on the front burner, and we're working so hard to get it done.
You heard the mayor for Kumasi, Richard Oforiajiman Buedi. This is still the City Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM, broadcasting from Accra. If you're in the northern region, you can listen to us on Radio Bimbila 91.9 FM. In the Upper East region, we're on Pure 100.5 FM in Navrongo and Boga 102.7 FM in Boga Tanga. In the Upper West region, the news is live on Tunsong 97.3 FM in Wa and Drapa 96.1 FM also in Drapa. Still ahead in the bulletin, following the alleged assault of Energy Ministry staff by plainclothes police officers, the Energy Minister, John Jinapo, has petitioned the Inspector General of Police to investigate the matter. We have details in a bit. Please stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
In Ghanaian parlance, Agrobesa, Efrianopa. To wit, if the festival will be entertaining, it starts from the morning. If 2026 will be amazing, it will very much depend on what we do in January. We bring you the Effective Living Series 2026 on 97.3 Citi FM with different weekly themes. Week 1, know where you want to go. Week 2, develop a plan to get there. Week 3, build capacity to get there. Week 4, take charge and soar. Tune in to 97.3 Citi FM to get a good head start on 2026. The Effective Living Series 2026 airs every weekday in January at 9:15 a.m. prompt, only on 97.3 Citi FM. The Effective Living Series is sponsored by Petra and Hallmark Freight and Consultancy Ghana Limited.
We are officially sold out. 10 years of memories, 10 years of adventure, 10 years of culture and crazy good vibes. This March, we're turning it all the way up from the 1st to the 8th of March 2026. 8 days, 14 regions, 1 legendary caravan. Rolling out from Greater Accra through Eastern and OT, up north to the Northern and Upper East, and all the way to the Western region, hitting iconic destinations across Ghana. Expect non-stop fun, breathtaking views, deep cultural immersion, and unforgettable moments. This is more than a trip. It's culture in motion, adventure without limits. Pack your bags and get ready. 10 years of the Heritage Caravan, experiencing the sights and sounds of Ghana. You cannot miss this. The Heritage Caravan 2026 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from Citi 97.3 FM. Terms and conditions apply. Heritage Caravan 2026, experience Ghana like never before.
Channel 1 TV has a way of telling their stories. Stories that empower change. Capturing the trending issues, delving into our communities, getting out the voices that matter.
Almost 13 to 16 people were under the ground and it collapsed on them. Yesterday we were able to make it and remove 8 of them and 4 were dead.
Channel 1 Newsroom, CNR, brings you an exhaustive coverage of the day's news. 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. every night.
Don't mine in forest reserves. And always when you've created a mess, clean it up. The laws are there. So it's not that you need more laws. It is just that you need more enforcement.
Channel 1 Newsroom captures the exact news temperature of the nation. From the northern, western, eastern, and southern parts of Ghana, Channel 1 Newsroom, CNR's got you covered.
Let's speak to the core issues in terms of how we can prevent professionals who have been given the mandate to teach our children, and for this matter, the old children's standard of care, and how they can live up to expectation.
8 p.m. and 11 p.m. every night.
How can somebody wake and you tell the person, I appreciate you for 10 good months? I can't stand it. I'm owing rent. What should I do to be able to pay my rent? I don't understand. They should pay us. Enough is enough.
CNR, telling your stories, empowering change. Catch CNR on Channel 1 TV at 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. every night.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. This is the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM, broadcasting from our studio here in Accra and also across our affiliates across the country. The news is also live around the world on citinewsroom.com. In some other stories, the Minister of Energy and Green Transition, John Jinapop, has formally petitioned the Inspector General of Police to investigate an alleged assault of staff of the ministry by some police officers. The move follows a viral video showing some plainclothes police officers attacking a bus carrying staff of the Energy Ministry after the officers were allegedly insulted over reckless driving. Now speaking to Citi News, the Public Relations Officer of the Energy Ministry, Richmond Roxon, confirmed the incident and urged swift action.
The staff has been released, and just yesterday, the Minister of Energy and Green Transition, Dr. Jinapop, has formally petitioned the IGP. He has demanded that a formal investigation be conducted, of course, an impartial one. He has condemned the act. It's unacceptable that any citizen should go through that, irrespective of what the cause of action is. Officers of our institutions, especially officers who are supposed to maintain law and order, cannot be this reckless. And so, yes, I can confirm to you that the act happened, our staff were attacked, and that the Honourable Minister has petitioned the office to deal with the matter. This morning, the Honourable Minister or Deputy Minister will go there in person as well to follow up. And so the ministry is not leaving any stone unturned. Nobody must go through that. We take the matter with the seriousness it deserves. The Senior Minister was also copied in a letter together with the Attorney General. And so we expect that there will be thorough investigations. We expect in the next few days these officers will be interdicted, and then subsequently, as the investigations are completed, there will be prosecutions.
There was the voice of Public Relations Officer at the Energy Ministry, Richmond Roxon. Away from that, the Judicial Service Staff Association of Ghana, JUSAG, is expected to hold a council meeting to decide on the way forward regarding its ongoing indefinite strike. The National Labour Commission has invited the association and other relevant stakeholders to a meeting scheduled for next Wednesday. The Commission has also directed JUSAG to halt the strike ahead of that engagement. Sources within the association tell Citi News that the council meeting will determine its next line of action. Let's now focus on cement. The Chamber of Construction Industry says there has been no significant reduction in the prices of building materials, particularly cement. The Chamber attributes the situation to the recent increase in utility tariffs, which took effect on January 1. Speaking to Citi News, Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber, Emmanuel Cherry, called for stakeholder engagement to discuss a possible reduction in utility tariffs.
Electricity, almost every home has electricity. So immediately the price moves up, it affects everything. And then you and I know that almost every manufacturing sector uses electricity as their power to drive for their manufacturing. So therefore, any time at all it increase, no matter how the CD appreciates, definitely price will either appreciate or be maintained, but coming down at times becomes a big challenge. So therefore, we are pleading with government through Ministry of Trade and Industry and Ministry of Energy and how they call it, Innovation, should try as much as possible to come to the table and see exactly what we do in terms of the utility charge.
You heard Emmanuel Cherry. He is the Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of Construction Industry. Well, the Vice President has had a very busy morning. After her meeting with the Transport Ministry and Metro Mass Transit, we're told that she's currently at Ayalolo, where she's engaging officials of the company. Let's now go live to the premises of Ayalolo and listen to that engagement.
Greater Accra Passenger Transport Executive. Yes. Greater Accra Passenger Transport Executive is an agency under the Ministry for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. It is important and pertinent to establish that there is a reason why our agency is under the Ministry for Local Government. Our board, to the list, that is the main reason why I said the area. It makes it easier for the Ministry for Local Government to coordinate the activities of these MMDCs when it comes to transport planning, transport development, and then issues of regulation and congestion in their respective areas in Greater Accra. And that's the main reason why we actually work under the Ministry for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. Now, in 2016, November, thereabout, the NDC government procured 245 buses to help ease congestion in Greater Accra and to enhance urban mobility to the extent that you could easily come and park your respective vehicles at our various terminals and join the yellow buses to your respective places to trade or for any business that you want to go by. 2016, everything was fine. 2017, everything was fine. 2018, 2019, they're about there. When then this government lost power and the new administration then came to take over, under the then Ministry for Transport, 60 of those new buses were sent to Kumasi, specifically in Ashanti region. Some of the buses were also sent to Tamale, others were also sent to Takoradi, and the others were left in Greater Accra for the operation of the BRT. Once we say BRT, bus rapid transport, it meant that you must go at a top speed. You must have special design corridors for which these buses could apply. So if you apply a particular route and we have designated routes specifically for these buses, it makes it easier to get to your destination without necessarily being caught in the normal traffic. So in 2016, 2017, we never had these issues until later on that the previous government gave a directive that those dedicated lanes could be used by any private user. And that started the trouble. What that meant was that you could have millions of buses, but because they did not have dedicated lanes, they would also be caught in the normal traffic. So you'll be crying for 1 million buses. The buses are brought, but they are stuck in traffic to the extent that it is defeating the purpose for which they were brought. And that is the BRT, the bus rapid transport. So somewhere around 2018, about there, when they started sending some of these buses to those areas, the system actually collapsed. Thank God, the very government that actually gave birth to the BRT system and the 240 buses is back. And that is the main reason why we are trying as much as possible to revamp the BRT system in Greater Accra. And it is for that reason that we have, with the permission of my sector minister, we have gone for the 60 buses that were sent to Kumasi to be brought under the management of GAPTI in terms of accountability, how much is being spent, how much is being realized in terms of revenue. So as I'm talking to you right now, with assistance and then the help of our sector minister, we have been able to get those buses back to the management of GAPTI, together with the buses that we also sent to Takoradi, to be brought to beef up the operation of Ayelolo buses in Greater Accra. Again, most of our terminals were taken away. I can speak of Kaswa Terminal. I can tell you in authority, in all humility, that we have also reclaimed that 4-acre terminal. Because like I said earlier on, the buses were brought together with the terminals for which you could easily come and park your respective vehicles and join. Adenta, Kimbu, Amasaman, and then Pokuase, we have been able to reclaim or take back all those terminals in order for us to operate these buses. Again, if you look at the very year these buses were brought, 2016 up to now, it's about 10 years about there. That tells you clearly that the buses are aging. And then these buses are also relying on fuel. So the good news is that it takes 70% of our operational costs for the payment of fuel on these buses on daily. And I can mention figures here. And for the avoidance of that, we are going for electric buses, for which my sector minister, together with myself and the deputy, we had tried as much as possible to go for a grant from the Spanish government, for which we are still on it. And then I'm pretty sure someone next month there about there, we should be able to get a no objection letter from the Ministry for Transport. And once that one is hard, then we'll be able to push, yes, Ministry for Finance. And once that one is hard, then we'll be able to push our matters through in order for us to get the electric buses to augment the operation of these buses without any problem. Yes. Again, again, once we have some of these buses brought to play, it would actually help. Not only with the congestion in Greater Accra, but with the problem that we are facing where others are exploiting the very innocent commuters. We have about 2.7 million commuters daily in Greater Accra alone. And if you have observed, about a week or so thereabout, we are having issues. We have done our own study. All of us can attest to what I'm saying, that the students were on vacation. How many private universities were we having before last year? Those who went on vacation, all of them are back. And once they are back, if Ayolo buses before vacation, they were using 40 buses per corridor, it meant that the number of commuters at that particular corridor would definitely go up. And that's how come that you are experiencing congestion in those areas where the drivers are exploiting the innocent commuters. What has GAPTI/Ayololo done with regards to that? We have taken advantage of the 24-hour economy. Now we do 4 shifts. We do 1 in the morning, we do some in the afternoon, we do evening, and then the lean peak in the night, so that the congestion that we have probably around 7, 8, 9, that about there, could ease up. And I think it is important that the records will reflect that it is because of the issues that we have increased our fleet in terms of the number of vehicles and the buses that we put on our corridor. Currently, we operate 6 corridors. Because of the issues that have been brought to our attention, we have added 2 more corridors. And I was speaking to some of the media, and I told them that next week some of them can join me to go and see how and where some of these buses will be at. Going back to Christmas, around November, then about there, GAPTI Ayololo, we were using 135 buses. Instead of our normal operation, the figure for normal operations, which probably was around 70 to 80 buses, for the day. We were now using 135 to ease congestion and traffic just before Christmas, and we are still doing that. Just that we are having some small issues relative to the number of vehicles that we have and the number of the vehicles that we also have at the depot, just like a human being. Some of these vehicles, as I told you, they are about 10 years old. They will experience some minor defect and then fault. And then we are on it, repairing all of them. Now, going back to challenges, because of the time, with respect.
Give the numbers and conclude.
Yes. So as I'm talking to you right now, we are giving 80 buses.
245.
Yeah, 245. So right now, I'm giving you the figure. Now, the Accra Transit corridors. If I say transit corridors, I remember I told that we have corridors that we apply. Yes. We have moved from 80 buses to 105 buses, which are in service. Now, University of Cape Coast, we have 12 buses. University of Health and Allied, we have 5 buses. We have Tamale Transit Operations, we have 2. We have Swissport, 5.
Swissport is where?
Yes, Swissport at the airport. Yes. Yes, the Swissport Airport commuter. Yes. So we have Swissport commuter at the airport, Kotoka International Airport. Then we have Aviance commuter. Aviance, they are also at the Kotoka International Airport. And these buses are there purposely to ease congestion, because national security zone, if you're not careful, there will also be a congestion. That's the main reason why you have some of these buses there. Now, so Aviance, we have 2 buses, civil aviation commuters, and that is also at the airport. That we also have 2 buses. Then we have the airport company itself, having 3 of our buses. Now we have the depot. Remember, I made mention of the fact that some of these buses are the depot. Depot means workshop. We have 11 grounded, those ones that are there that we think that we have to change the engines to, so there are about 11. Then we have And then we have depot holding 28. And then, so when you put all the figures together, you get 175. So if it is 175, remember I mentioned 60, remember I mentioned 10 to Tamale, so that would be 70. So please, 175 plus 70 will give you 245. So that is all about the number of Ayolo buses that currently we are running in Greater Accra. Challenges, as usual, we do not get any subvention, neither do we get any money anywhere. It is the little money that we take from passengers. And we charge, on record, we charge about 70%, 20% lower than normal fares that you have. So for that to take you to town for 10 Ghana cedis, we probably would take like 7 Ghana cedis. And it is out of these monies that we use to pay our staff, to buy fuel, to maintain all these vehicles without getting any money anywhere. Yes. And as I'm talking to Ayolo, we have tried as much as possible. Now you can see most of these Ayolo buses are also having Waka Now, other companies being advertised on them. I don't know whether you have them as a media. It is one of our innovative means of getting money to pay for the fuel. And that's the main reason, since I took over, we have tried to have, right now we have about 4 or 5 companies that are advertising on our buses, and it is giving us very good money to pay for our salaries together with other expenditure.
So in conclusion,
So,
45, how many are grounded?
So the grounded one, 11.
11.
Yes, 11.
Out of the 245, 10 years ago, 11 are not roadworthy.
Yes, they are not.
The rest are all roadworthy.
Yes.
And they are all moving.
Under maintenance. 28 under maintenance. Yes, and then with the 11, let me add, it is critical that when NDC won, yes, they bent, I think they bent one of the, 4 bent, yes, in Kumasi.
6 or 4?
4, it's 4. Remember I told you that 60 buses were sent to Kumasi, 4 have been bent. So they are all part of the 11 grounded buses that I'm talking of. So so let me use this opportunity to welcome all of you, and then hand over the mic back to Chief of Staff. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. CEO, for that information. And at this juncture, with the kind with the permission of the Sector Minister, I will hand over the mic now to the Vice President of the Republic to say a few words. Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. Let me address the ministers, deputies, and the CEO and your staff, members of the media, and all of us who are here. Good afternoon. And Chief of Staff, thanks for asking me to make short comments. I'll make them short. First, CEO, let me thank you for accepting us and for your report. I recognize all the situations you have inherited, and I'm very happy to note that you are not feeling daunted by them, but that you are rather confronting the situation and finding solutions. I find that very, very attractive, and I want to encourage you to do more and assure you that whatever we need to do to ensure that your work is successful, we'll do that. Well done. Part of the major reason for being here was to respond to the pressures in the system regarding commuters. What is happening is that we are seeing undue long queues, frustration, and delays. So we needed to find out what was going on and how to solve the problems. Earlier on today, we were privileged to meet with the unions, and they also told us, in part, their story. Their meetings were not over, and we know that when everything is said and done, we'll get a full sense of what their own inputs are in dealing with the problem. So we're very, very happy to have been part of that discussion this morning. We believe that when problems occur, the solutions should be shared. The responsibilities are ours, and the achievements are ours too. So we don't run away from responsibilities. And when there are events that directly affect citizens, that is something we need to respond to quickly, because it's the people we are working with and for. And I keep saying that we're not even working for anybody. We are working with people. So their input, what their situation is, what they are going through, all of this should be of primary importance to us. And this explains why we spent part of today doing this. I want to assure you that, yes, I hear the numbers of what was burnt, what is under repair, and so on and so forth. And I want to assure you the promise that our president has made. He's going to work quickly on supplying high occupancy vehicles to agencies. And these agencies include the State Trans or the Metro Mass. They include Ayalolo, so you should be happy about that. And they also include the private sector. You know that about 90% of transportation in this country is fielded by the private sector. And we also know that, like your agency, they've also not had any support in the last 10 years. So we have a bit of a problem, not a bit, actually a big problem to do with public transportation in this country. And you refer to the history. We try to solve the problem, especially in dedicating lanes for the buses to ply. It's very, very important. Because if I'm going to leave my cars elsewhere and be in the queue, then maybe there's a very little attraction in using that option. So it's just unfortunate that we have to go back instead of advancing what was there. And all of these should be lessons to all of us on why we need to do things properly in order to advance our country. So I want to commend you in the efforts you are making to restructure. That's the sense I'm getting, not just retooling, but also resetting the Ayalolo system. And in all of this, let us remember why we are there. We are there to make life more bearable. So wherever we are, that is our responsibility. I know you are carrying yours well, and I want to congratulate you for it. And thank all of you for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much. At this juncture, I'll ask kindly that the ministers and the CEO take us back to your office. The rest, which are very few, should just be organized downstairs. We'll come and join you for a group photograph, and then we will leave. So if you let the Vice President leave first, and then we will come and join you downstairs, if that is okay with everybody. So let the Vice President first leave. Chief Executive.
Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman assuring the management of the Greater Accra Passenger Transport Executive of government support in getting new buses for their operations. Now, this, she says, the government has already promised to ensure new buses are given to the State Transport Company, that is the STC, the Metro March Transit Limited, and then the private sector as well, based on an earlier meeting with members of the GPLTU. Thank you for staying with us here on Channel 1 TV. I'm Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Good afternoon.